Hello. Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm out here in the high plains and I miss you all. I'm at home, just like all of you. And I don't know, it's a crazy world we live in, right? Super crazy. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the housing market and home buying and selling in the age of Corona and what that means for all of us. Um, there's a lot of conflicting information right now. And as we all know, it takes, it's changing by the hour as to what is going on and the directions we're being given and the speculations that are happening. And we're all just trying to sift through it all and keep our heads up and figure it out. Um, so, who here thinks that buying a home right now is a complete nutso idea, right? Uh, why would you do that? We're wondering where our next paycheck is going to come from. Is it even possible? Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Um, Full disclosure, I am not a lender. I am a realtor. So I take market information and I interpret it. I speak with other lenders and other realtors and uh, read and research as much as I can about this stuff. But the straight fact is, none of us really know where any of this is going. That's okay. We're all in this together. So I have spoken to a couple lenders in Colorado. I haven't spoken to any in Buffalo yet, or Connecticut, or North Carolina, where any of my little satellite spheres are. So the Fed lowered the rate to zero. What does that mean, right? Well, it doesn't mean that the mortgage rates are zero. That's not what that means. It means that they're overnight trading bank to bank. That went down to zero, or 0.25%. That doesn't have a whole lot to do with us as the consumer. So, no, unfortunately, your mortgage rate is not zero. And even if you applied for a new loan right now, it wouldn't be zero. In fact, it actually went up a little bit over the past week because banks are at capacity. Lenders are totally slammed busy. People are refinancing their houses. People are trying to get into new mortgages, and they're just really, really busy right now. That doesn't give them a whole lot of reason to lower the interest rates. So it is still up to the different banks to figure out what their rate is. It's not across the board per se. There's still competition and different factors for what your interest rate would be. So, are we headed into a housing market crash or no? Or we don't really know. We don't know what's going on there. It's a little iffy, but I think that this downtime that we all have, is probably the best time for you to do your research, do your homework, get educated on what it takes to buy a home. What does that entail? What do I need to do to make sure my finances are in order? That might feel like a lot right now, considering that some of us are not working, some of us are trying to work from home. We're not sure where our next paycheck is coming from, especially if you're in the service or food industries right now. I feel for you guys. But we got to all stick together and try to figure out how to get through it. So, what better to do than spend your time educating yourself about your own future? So there's some interesting things going on right now in the market that were happening before coronavirus, and that's inventory. So there already were not enough homes. Okay. There was more buyers than sellers, and the builders couldn't even keep up with the demand. Okay. So we had an um, inventory issue in Colorado, inventory issue sort of across the nation. Um, More people were trying to buy than there were houses available. So that was pushing our price up. Yeah. Um, Especially in places that are heavy in tourism. People want to live like Denver. Everybody wants to live here. So the prices are already pretty high. Um, that is affecting things and is going to continue to affect things through the age of Corona, as I am referring to it as. Everybody's got their different names for it. Rona, the vid. Um, so with these rates so low, okay, the mortgage rates are very low. People are refinancing their houses. Um, I'm worried that the inventory issue is going to get a little bit worse because people are not going to want to sell a piece of property that is mortgaged at such a low rate. Would you? So it may become pretty difficult to get in, but that's why you have professionals on your side. That's why you have a professional lender or a lending team, and you have a professional realtor on your side, because they're going to help you navigate um, that very choppy market and figure out exactly where that sweet spot is of, you know, okay, there's only a few homes that I can afford. How am I going to make sure that I don't have to overpay for this house because there's only 3 in the neighborhood that I need that are in my price range? How am I going to get that house without overpaying for that house? Well, that's for your team to help you with. Um, so yeah, we've got this sort of supply and demand issue going on right now. And then we've got these really low rates, which, it's putting a lot of pressure on the lending system. It's putting a lot of pressure on the housing market in general. So we're just going to have to see, guys. But it's not really a reason to just stop and think, oh, I could never do that. I don't know what, if you were already thinking of buying this year and now you think you can't, that right there, that fear is what's going to bring the whole system down. So you can't be afraid, because there's really no way that any of us are going to change anything. All you can do is keep going. Okay, so if you were already thinking you were going to apply this year, go ahead and apply. There might be a waiting list. They're pretty slammed busy. There's no reason that you should not apply for a mortgage right now. The best way that any of us are going to get through all of this is trying to keep our plans and our spending habits similar to what they were. So part of that is important to, just keep the machine moving. Keep the machine moving. I know everybody's buying up all the toilet paper they can and stocking up their cupboards, and what you're doing is really you're emptying your wallet. And yeah, we need those things, but try to keep your spending habits kind of where they were, and don't change. If you were on the 1-year track or the 2-year track or the 3-month track for buying a house, please try to stick to that plan, because if everybody just stops, okay, that's what brings everything down. Okay, that's what makes everything implode. Okay, so that is not what we need. So if you do want to talk to a lender, I have a couple of recommendations for that. probably you should start with whoever you already lend with, your bank, your credit union. If they offer mortgages, just talk to them. You've been with that bank for years, haven't you? That's probably a really good place to start. You've probably already talked to that person on the phone a couple of times, or seen them at the bank. So start there. And then you should always be looking for at least two lending quotes, because they are going to have different interest rates and they are going to have different closing costs. Don't bother these guys too much right now. Try to keep your answers really, your questions pretty direct and short. Hey, I want to apply for a loan. Can you please tell me a little bit about what your interest rate currently is and how much your closing costs generally are? So you can call your bank and then another local lender. I know M&T in Buffalo does lending. I know a lot of the credit unions do lending. So just whatever you're comfortable with. A lot of people ask me if they should use a national chain like Rocket Mortgage or Quicken Loans or whatever. I do find that you really should be taking advantage of the personal customer service that a local lender is going to give you. You don't want things to fall apart at the last minute when you're about to close on your house and you realize that the underwriters at Quicken Loans didn't do something right and now you can't close. That's no fun. It has happened. Local lenders have a lot more skin in the game, and they're here to help you. They want to close. They want to help you. Yeah. Hang on, baby girl. I'll be right there. So, yeah, I know some of you are feeling like, oh my gosh, how could I possibly buy a house right now? But there's hope, and we need to keep hope. And it's only scary if you make it scary. So after you have talked to your lender, and I know, again, a lot of us, we don't know how long this is going to go on. Maybe you were on the 1 month track. Maybe you're in the middle of it. Maybe you were on the 3 month or 6 month or 1 year track. Please try to stick to those goals. There's no reason to become completely derailed. So my daughter needs my attention. After you get yourself a pre-approval letter, call me. Call me here in Colorado, because I will be able to give you the contact information of a local realtor near you that will help you. And that's what I love to do. I miss you all. I have to go help her. Love you guys. I hope you're doing really well and staying calm through all of this ridiculousness. And we're all just trying to stay safe and stay healthy. And come hang out with me online again soon. Miss you. Bye.